This is Ken Smith, reminding you it happened today, May 26th. But the year was 1781. The Bank of North America, incorporated in Philadelphia, serves as the United States' first central bank. It was on this day, 1805, Lewis and Clark first see the Rocky Mountains. It was on this day, 1857, when U.S. slave Dred Scott and his family are freed from being slaves. Only 3 months after the U.S. courts ruled against Scott's freedom. It was on this day, 1896, Dow Jones begins an index of 12 industrial stocks. It was on this day, 1927, Henry Ford and the Ford Motor Company produced the last Model T Ford. It was on this day, 1975, Rhinestone Cowboy, a single released by Glen Campbell, becomes the 1975 Song of the Year. It was just a year ago, 2019, that 9 climbers die in a 1-week period on Mount Everest after overcrowding leads to huge lines to reach the summit. But that was May 26 in the past. This is May 26, 2020. In California, Governor Newsom has gradually allowed some businesses to reopen as the state's number of virus-related hospitalizations has flattened. But churches are still banned, along with hair salons and sporting events. Many churches, though, are tired of waiting. A lawyer representing some 1,200 pastors has signed a petition, a declaration of essentiality, that announces their plan to reopen at the end of May while observing physical distancing and other precautions. The attorney for the churches expects 3,000 churches across California to have in-person services by the end of May. He says, this letter was not sent for the purpose of asking for permission. While 2008, the financial crisis, led the public to discover the limits of economics, the COVID-19 pandemic risks having the same effect on scientists, medical doctors, and politicians. Since the start of the outbreak, citizens have struggled to get clear answers to some basic questions. Masks. The World Health Organization said early on there was no point in encouraging healthy people to use them. But now most doctors agree that wearing a mask is a good idea. There was confusion around lockdowns. This goes on throughout every country around the world, trying to make sense and to establish the best policies. Today, the New York Stock Exchange is set to reopen. Its famed trading floor will look different. Only 1/4 of the exchange's normal population of traders will be back on the floor. They will return wearing masks, avoiding public transportation, following more stringent social distancing rules, with newly erected plexiglass barriers to help them stay apart. Orlando, Florida, the Universal theme parks plans to reopen in phases on June 2nd. The virus, the lockdown, has spurred Facebook to accelerate its plans to move more workers to working at home. Facebook says it hopes to have half of its workforce working off-site by 2030. The entire University of California system has voted to stop requiring SAT or ACT tests for applicants through at least 2024. In London, many people have been using their extra time during this lockdown wisely. They've adopted new habits to keep themselves busy. 43% of Britons say that they feel they have changed their life for the better as a result of the last 2 months. Tomorrow, President Trump will be among the spectators at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida to witness the launch of Elon Musk's SpaceX. It's a high-stake test flight. There will be 2 astronauts, Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley. The mission will launch from Cape Canaveral, Florida, on Wednesday at 4:33 in the afternoon. NASA told Business Insiders it's estimated that there is a 1 in 276 chance that the flight will be fatal, and a 1 in 60 chance that some problem would cause the mission to fail, but not kill the crew. The astronauts were unmoved. They said they are really comfortable with the risks of their flight. And so today, news, some good, some bad, some confusing, and yet behind all of it is the truth that this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is Ken Smith reminding you it happened today, May 26th, 2020.